Welcome back, YouTube. Hog here, and Goat. We're getting ready to go over my Monk's build and some of the inventory items that I have that we used for group play. This is a group play spec, so, I mean, if you're looking to do speed run solo, even though I do them with it, this is not the optimal DPS build, you know, that everyone would run. This is just what works for me when I'm playing with Goat, because that's who I play with most of the time. So I kind of want to go over it with it. And it's going to be through Goat's point of view. So you ready to start here, Goat, with my skills?
Yep, I got your skills brought up, and I'm sitting over on your Fists of Thunder at the moment, if you want to start with those.
Yep, I'm using Fist of Thunder with the Thunderclap, just because that teleport. The teleport is amazing. I can't stress that enough. It generates a decent amount of spirit, and just being able to teleport, you're moving so quickly. It's just awesome. I love it. And that's why I use it, just for the teleport. You know, it makes it so much easier to get that guy who slips away. Or you got that treasure goblin, which we all know that Goat loves. The treasure goblin running away, you can just hold down A. Boom, you're teleporting to him. So, moving along, on right trigger, I have Sweeping Wind. And that is, I have the Cyclone that does the tornadoes around you. That's AoE. So whatever's around you in that 10-yard radius is going to be taking 20% weapon damage. And then on critical hits, you have a chance to spawn a tornado that does 26% weapon damage, and it lasts 3 seconds. And that's great because once you get the gear, you're generating a lot of crits. I mean, these things are just flying all around. It's a ton of extra damage. Moving over to X, I have Wave of Light. And I have the empowered wave to reduce the spirit cost because, I mean, dude, it costs a lot of spirit. 75 spirit's a decent amount when you only have the standard spirit pool of, I think it's 150. So, I mean, this gives you a couple extra bells that you can drop. And I use it for, you know, mostly single target, but, you know, it does some AoE in front, so like a frontal cone it does damage. So I just find it great to drop down those champions and stuff when you only got 1 or 2 guys left. You'll see me spam that all. Moving over to Y, Breath of Heaven. This is a great in that oh shit moment, because you get a little bit of life, but I use it for the Blazing Wrath rune there, because it gives you a 45-second damage buff of 15%, which is great. So I just use it, and I just refresh it when it falls off or before it falls off. And that's what I'm using. Like I said, it is good for those oh shit moments. So now this is kind of, and then moving over to B, the Cyclone Strike. This is kind of the cream of the crop of this group play build, especially when I'm playing with Goat. I have the Implosion rune with it that actually pulls the guys towards me. So that's what I do, is I run into an area, and boom. And you can chain this. If you got enough spirit, you can hit this thing, you know, 3 or 4 times, and it's doing damage as it's pulling 8 enemies towards you. And, I mean, you can just control a room so good with this skill. It just works out beautifully. I'm sorry, Goat, did you have something to say?
I was going to mention on your Breath of Heaven back there, the heal, you've saved me a couple times on that when we've been fighting close. Just, you know, you get trapped, walled in on something, and we can't get out of it, and you'll fire that off, and that's enough sometimes to just, you know, between a death and keeping on going, which is real handy. And,
yeah, I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it's enough to get you out of those oh shit moments.
Yep. And then as you were mentioning the Cyclone Strike, being able to pull everything together like that is so awesome, and it doubles up well with your one over here, that Sweeping Wind, where you have everything around you taking damage. So it's a great combo to work together.
And if you're cracking off crits and you're pulling stuff in, you are going to just melt stuff, guys. You really are. And it's just great for group play. I mean, I use this build even when I'm just solo running. Just my build. It's what I like to do. All right, we're going to move over to my mantra. I use the mantra of conviction and the overrayer, whatever. I can't pronounce it. You guys know I can't read shit. But that's a pretty good damage one. You know, anything around me is taking 24% additional damage and 48% for the first 3 seconds. So spirit willing, you'll see me cast that if we got a bunch of shit going on, just to get that 3-second extra buff. And with that, and with the with the blazing wrath rune on my Breath of Heaven and the tornadoes going, you just got a center of damage, dude, a center of crits, and you're going to just see those yellow numbers fly. All right, we're going to move down to my my first passive there, actually, in the third slot. One with everything. This just makes all your resists equal to your highest resist number. So if you have 517 poison resist, and that's your highest one, all your resists are going to be 517. Just a great defensive skill. I mean, most everything is on the offensive throughout the skills. You got to have something that you can take some damage. Especially when you're sucking all that stuff in, you got to be able to negate some of that damage. Moving on to passive number 2. Seize the initiative. And I mean, you're already stacking dexterity, you know, so that is your main stat is dexterity. Why not get that armor increase? 50% of your dexterity. Your armor's increased by 50% of your dexterity. Why not use that? It's a great passive to have. And then moving over to the first one here, Resolve. I just actually put this one back on. It reduces damage by 20% for 2.5 seconds to enemies that you're doing damage to. And I put that on before I got the upgrade last night, just because I was taking a little bit too much damage that I thought. So I put this on. I mean, you can always switch that up to something, you know, that's gonna another offensive, if you will, like the Guardian's Path or Combination Strike is another good one that you could replace that with. But I like it on because I like to have that little bit of extra padding there. I like to be able to survive a lot. I don't like dying. Anything?
No, I was actually pretty much covered that, and I'll expand on a couple things and how they work together once you see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go over to your inventory. Is there anything item-wise that you want to talk about?
Actually, that sword that's in my offhand that you got yesterday and actually gave to me.
All right, got that up.
Ancient Bone Saber of Zoomaculus. This thing is a beast, and that was a game changer for me. Goat actually picked that up and was nice enough to give it to me. So I did that. I don't have a Marquise gem to put in yet, but I'm working on it. I got that. And I do have a 4-piece Inna's set right now because it's pretty much all I have. I got the helm.
There's your helm.
Inna's Radiance there, yep. The chest piece, Inna's Vast Expanse. You can see these are a lot of green gems to fill up. And moving to the belt, Inna's Favor. And over to the legs, Inna's Temperance. And one thing I want to tell you guys is monks, they favor a little bit more attack speed than the other classes. So I try to, you know, use gear with more attack speed. Of course, the critical hit is always great. But for me, I like to take the attack speed over the critical hit chance if I have choice. Because the increased attack speed just really, you're doing more attacks in a lesser amount of time. So, I mean, that's just a huge DPS boost. And resist always, you want to get those resists up because, you know, the more resist, the more damage that you can absorb and take. And, that's it for me. I mean, I don't really have a rhyme or reason to my gearing. I take what's the best that I can get. You know, I'm about 95% self-found minus that sword that Goatman got me yesterday. You know, so I'm going through the motions. You know, if I start getting some better gear, I can always do an upgraded guide and showcase some more of my gear. But this really isn't about the gear. It's more about the skill setup and just the emphasis on this is a great group play, a great co-op build. And if you guys try this out, I'm pretty sure most of you will like it and enjoy it.